Good morning, everybody, and welcome to City Hall here in Newton. There are days when dreams come true, hard stuff gets done, and permanent positive change is made. This is one of those days, so it is truly a good morning. I'm going to do it one more time. Good morning. Good morning. Governor Healey, here in this room are Newtonians who are passionate about public transportation, making housing more available and more affordable, ensuring accessibility, improving climate resiliency, supporting economic opportunity, and nurturing the daily quality of life for everyone, from our kids to our older adults. With your leadership, Governor, the meticulous work of General Manager Eng, the persistence of State Representative Khan, and the important behind-the-scenes work of Congressman Auchincloss, mixed together with the good work of Newtonians and of the great staff from both Newton City Hall and the MBTA. I think we have all joined a new team that gets stuff done, Team Massachusetts. Let me introduce the captain of our team, Governor Healey.
Thanks, man. I love that. Wow, good morning, Newton. What a great way to begin the week. It's great to be here for this major announcement. I want to thank everyone who worked so hard to make this day possible. And indeed, as the mayor says, it is about a team approach to all of this, and we had action on the local, state, and federal level to come together to do something really good for not only residents, but for our economy, and not just here in Newton, but across this region. So I am grateful to the mayor. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for sporting the cap right now. To members of the Newton City Council and Newtonville Area Council, we appreciate your service and the work you do every day. To Congressman Auchincloss, who has been just a tremendous partner, we are so grateful to you. And this project has been a particular passion for the Congressman, and it is wonderful to see it happen, and grateful to you for the federal funding that we're receiving and the work that we've been able to do together. To our colleagues in the legislature, Senator Cindy Creem, Representative Kay Khan, Representative Ruth Balser. What a signature achievement to leave on. So congratulations and thank you for your service. Especially to Ruth and to Kay. Really, we're really grateful for so many wonderful things that you have done for so many decades in the legislature on behalf of people in this state. Welcome to our representatives-elect, Greg Schwartz and Amy Sangiolo. We look forward to working with you. To Councilor Marilyn Devaney, we also thank you as well for your decades of service on behalf of the Commonwealth, and I know your passion for service will not end. President Greg Reedman of the Charles River Regional Chamber, thank you, Greg, for all that you do. There he is in the way back. Appreciate it so much, and particularly on the heels of the economic development bill, we're really psyched to be here. Really appreciate the work with our chambers around the state. And to our MBTA GM Phil Eng, who has made historic progress with his team across this public transit system. Really grateful to you, Phil, and your team. We're joined here today by our chair of Mass DOT Board, Tom McGee, Chandra Smart of the MBTA Board, who is here today. Thank you. Dr. Lisa Izzoni, who is here also from the board, and it just shows how committed everybody is on this DOT board to moving forward and getting the work done. And thank you to a person who is not always in the headlines, but is right there with the team, making sure everything is happening, and that is our great Rail and Transit Administrator from the Department of Transportation for the Commonwealth, Meredith Schlesinger. Thank you, Meredith. I also see in the audience, we have our former Secretary of Transportation and current FHA Administrator, Stephanie Pollock. Stephanie, I know this was a big part of a vision that you had for this state, and we thank you for all your work. And a final thank you to, and a special thank you to members of the Newton Commission on Disability for your advocacy. So Newton's been working on this a long time, as I said, working local, state, and federal partnerships, and we're really pleased to say that we have $50 million lined up through state, MBTA, and federal funding to do this job, to rebuild and move forward on the Newtonville Commuter Rail Station. This is a big deal. I was just down touring with it. Sorry for the delay, but I really wanted to see what was going to happen there. And it's super exciting. This is going to be modern, it's going to be user-friendly, and it's going to be accessible. And we're going to go from one platform that's accessible only by stairways to 2 fully accessible level boarding platforms on each side of the tracks. This is going to allow trains to come more frequently, more efficiently, without having to switch tracks. It's going to have better lighting, better security, better signage. It's going to have elevators. It's going to be a station that the community and the Commonwealth deserve. It is part of our plan to improve the commuter rail, to improve public transportation infrastructure, to make sure that we're doing all we can to support our residents, to support our businesses, getting more people coming and going on the rails here in Massachusetts. And I'm really, really excited about it. I also say it's the latest in a series of wins for Massachusetts in securing federal funding for transit infrastructure. In May, we announced $67 million to upgrade station platforms for accessibility along the Green Line. Last month, we secured $472 million to rebuild the North Station drawbridge and improve commuter rail service access across much of the system. We've secured over $140 million for the West-East Rail Project, which is going to increase access from here to the central and western part of the state and back. Big deal, especially a big deal when it comes to unlocking housing in this state. In addition, this week, we are adding the red line to the orange line and the blue line as MBTA subway lines that are fully back up to speed with no more slow zones. Red line, orange line, blue line, no more slow zones. We promised a year ago we were going to do that, and we got it done. And thank you to GMA and the team. Look, we're not going to do anything except continue to move forward in every community across the state. Across the country, transit systems lost ridership during the pandemic, and most have not come back to pre-pandemic levels. The MBTA commuter rail is a shining exception with close to a full return of pre-pandemic ridership. We've brought riders back by delivering better service, and we're going to continue to work on our improvements. It's important work. It's about improving the quality of life for our residents. It's about getting people to and from work, to school, to doctor's appointments, to shop, and to support our economy, making those daily routines reliable and saving you time. It's also about infrastructure for the new housing that we need to bring down costs. And Newton's been a great partner when it comes to new housing. You know, one of the things, look, I signed that economic development bill last week, all right? There were a few priorities out of the gate for our administration in this session. We wanted to get the biggest housing bill done in history, which we did, and we wanted to get a transformational economic development bill done, which we did. And thank you to the legislature for that. Now, over there, one thing that was so important, that stop that I was just at is surrounded by a number of new housing developments, projects that are going to bring online, and I see Robert Korf here, one of our developers. Thank you to the developers in your commitment to partner with and work with communities. It is a great example of what works. We're going to have hundreds more folks living right next to a T station who are going to be able to literally not get in their cars, but to hop on a commuter rail that's traveling at regular times, at times that work for them and their families and their schedules, that are going to support our economy, and it shows what's possible. And so I'm just super excited to see, all of that come to fruition. It is economic development, it is housing, it is smart, it's addressing climate issues, it's also easing congestion and traffic, and it's just the kind of win that we envision. And that is why our administration remains very committed to pushing ahead in communities, working with communities, so that we bring more housing online. There are votes coming up in Needham and other places. I encourage folks, communities, to follow the example of Newton. It's going to be good for your residents, good for your small businesses, good for your local economy, and it's very, very important to Massachusetts being competitive and equitable and affordable to more and more folks. So thank you for that. So really proud of the work being done here today, really proud of the partnership, and speaking of which, we're able to do this and secure this unprecedented amount of federal funding. In the last 2 years of our administration, we brought back over $8 billion to Massachusetts, much of it to plow directly into public infrastructure projects like the one we're celebrating that today. And we're able to do that because of our wonderful congressional delegation. And I'd now like to invite up Congressman Jake Auchincloss.
Good morning. This has been a long time coming, and I am so grateful for the partnership of Governor Healey and General Manager Eng in making it happen. Personnel is policy, and at a time when I'm in Washington watching our federal cabinet picks become a reality TV show, it is so refreshing to watch the governor here in Massachusetts surround herself with people who care about public service and who bring competence to bear to the issues at hand, from Veterans Affairs to Health and Human Services to, of course, the MBTA. Governor Healey, thank you for your leadership for Massachusetts. I also appreciate the strong leadership of Mayor Ruthanne Fuller, a longtime friend and colleague, who made the case for the commuter rail upgrades as her #1 priority to both the Baker and Healey administration, using facts and logic about housing and transit, and some very well-placed arm twisting at the right time. Senator Cindy Creem, the Senate Majority Leader, was instrumental in building support for this project within the State House, particularly in the budget process. And of course, our retiring friend, Kay Khan, State Representative, has been indefatigable in keeping the Newton Commuter Rail Stations top of mind and now top of budget. Thank you, Kay. Newtonville commuters can look forward to an accessible, comfortable station that improves the reliability of their commute. And all of Newtonville, where I myself live, can count on improved transit infrastructure to support walkable housing development. This upgrade is bigger than just Newtonville, though. It also removes one of the bottlenecks to the ultimate implementation of both West-East Rail and Regional Rail. The new station will be an unlock for the system. At a time when remote work and other new post-COVID patterns of life are challenging the MBTA, all levels of government must work together to invest in a system that reliably connects people to jobs, services, and each other, that supports housing production, and that builds public trust in governance. This project is an example of that partnership, and I'm gratified to have been one part of it. I want to close on a note of remembrance to a longtime friend and colleague to so many of us, a former Secretary of Housing and Economic Development, Greg Bielecki, a Newton resident. Many of us will have had the same experience with Greg that I did, which is a friend, an advisor on the thorniest problems of infrastructure and housing throughout the Commonwealth, and as an exemplar of what public service means. And he passed recently, and I know how gratified and excited he would have been about this project. So I'm thinking of Greg Bielecki and his family today. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Please allow me now to introduce MBTA General Manager Phil Eng, who at the end of this press conference is going to be deleting my phone number from his book because I have been bothering him so much over the last year. Thank you, Phil, for your leadership in a challenging time.
Thank you, everyone. Mayor Fuller, thank you for hosting today's event and for all the ongoing leadership in ensuring that Newton's transit needs are front and center in this effort. And thank you, Congressman Auchincloss, and your whole team for the persistent advocacy on behalf of the City of Newton and the T as a whole. We've had many conversations, as the Congressman alluded to, but they've all been good, and they've been instrumental in moving us and advocating for the needs for this project as well as our other needs. And Governor Healey, I thank you for your leadership and your whole team. It's been fantastic, and nothing more proud to be part of it. To the state delegation for their tireless advocacy in securing the resources necessary for this project and so many of our other needs. And finally, thanks to the neighborhood and the community advocates whose voices have ensured that Newtonville Station remains a priority for improved accessibility and service. So today we're here because the existing station infrastructure at Newtonville is outdated. It does not support the needs with low-level single-sided platform that are only accessible via the stairways. Around 1,000 inbound and 1,000 outbound riders use Newton stations today. Commuter rail riders come and go through Newton every day, but there's not one accessible MBTA commuter rail station in the city, and that's not acceptable. The current design also forces trains to switch tracks in Newton, causing delays across the whole corridor and reducing efficiency. And currently there are 5 inbound, 5 outbound trains per day, skipping the station the rest of the day in part because it lacks the accessibility and design to be able to allow this corridor to serve it in a better manner. This limits the ability of riders to reverse commute to Newton and does not align with our goals here at the MBTA of providing two-way service for everyone. So we're excited to announce our commitment to rebuild Newtonville Station, which will include, as the governor said, 2 fully accessible platforms. They will be high level, making it easier for all passengers to board trains. The new station will allow for a full day, all-day service, and that definitely will support the transit-oriented development that is ongoing and already in place. Also will be a bridge suitable for wheel mobility devices and elevators to access both platforms. Additional enhancements to the station, we will be doing track and signal upgrades as part of this to help improve the reliability across the system. New amenities, benches, canopies, tactile warning strips, wayfinding signage. It's state-of-the-art bicycle racks, security cameras, pick-up, drop-off areas, make this station more user-friendly and more comfortable for everybody. And safety and security will be a part of this new station with blue phones, CCTV cameras, and improved lighting to ensure a safer environment for all of our riders. And this station rebuild will make Newtonville fully accessible as a commuter rail station along this corridor, filling that critical gap for riders with disabilities and others who have faced challenges using our existing infrastructure. This is part of a larger effort to modernize the MBTA system and ensure that public transportation is equitable and accessible for all the members of the community, including those in Newton. And thank you again, Governor Healey, to local legislators, community advocates, and Mayor Fuller for all of the support in this important project. This rebuild is not just about improving infrastructure. It's about creating a more inclusive, accessible, and equitable community for everyone who relies on the MBTA to get around. An investor in a stronger, safer, and more modern transit system not only benefits Newton, but it also benefits the entire region for generations to come. So thank you for all of that. And now I'd like to welcome to the podium Representative Khan.
This is huge. This is so exciting. And I really want to thank Governor Healey, the Healey-Driscoll administration, the Department of Transportation Secretary Tibbetts Nutt, MBTA General Manager Eng, and I also want to point out my colleague, actually, we came into the legislature together, Tom McGee, who is the new board president of the MBTA, or the new president of the MBTA board. So, you know, this is incredible news today, and we were just down on the track, and a train went by, and it was really kind of scary, actually, to be down on that track. So this is just an incredible moment that we are finally getting to get this started. So I also want to thank Congressman Auchincloss, Mayor Fuller, Senator Creem, Representative Balser, Newton City Councilors, both present and former, Newton's Commission on Disability, and all of you who are here today, because I know you all really care about transportation, you care about what we're trying to do here. And as your state representative of the 11th Middlesex District, I fought for this accessibility for 3 of our MBTA stations. We have 3 in the city, and they're all in my district, so I felt that it was really important, and for nearly 30 years, and I have to say it takes a village to get here today. So again, I just want to really thank everyone. When constituents initially came to me about the problem, it takes 30 to 40 steps in some cases to get down to the 3 platforms. So I reached out, actually sort of puts this in context, I reached out to Congressman Barney Frank. So he was excited about the timing because there was a transportation bond bill going through the Congress, and in those days you could actually earmark the bills that were going through, and he actually was able to get close to $3 million in that bond bill and brought that back here to the Department of Transportation. So I want to give a hand to, I know he's probably not here, but so I was grateful, and it really was seed money in a way, because it gave me the opportunity to continue on to really try to work with the MBTA all these years, and they really responded. So I just want to start by saying that the Newtonville station, it will actually be a model of retrofitting at the stations on the whole Framingham, Worcester station and beyond. And so many of the stations in Massachusetts need this retrofitting. So this will be a model for the entire line. And also with the increasing multifamily housing under the MBTA Communities Act, and I do want to give a special thank you again to the Healey-Driscoll administration around the housing effort, because I think this is incredibly important. So I just want to say, as I complete this amazing privilege that I've had and an honor of nearly 30 years of representing my constituents, my community, the city of Newton, and as a nurse, I think that protecting our environment is incredibly important, getting people out of their cars, and it's also about safety, accessibility, and health by reducing pollution. So again, I want to thank everyone here for your continual efforts and support on moving forward. And I look forward to seeing all of this happen, and I've offered to be helpful if they want any of my thoughts or advice. So look forward to working with Commissioner or Manager Eng. So again, thank you so much. And so I would like to turn it over to Senator Creem.
Wow, what a nice day. Good morning, or afternoon almost. I want to thank Governor Healey and General Manager Ng for prioritizing this transformational project and for the hard work to remove speed restrictions and improve service for transportation elders. I want to give a special thanks to the City of Newton. They say it takes a village, and it does. The mayor, but the city councilors, former board president Susan Albright, I saw her today. She and other councilors spent hours. They were there all the time for every conference, and we should really thank them for all the hard work that they did. And of course, our wonderful Congressman Auchincloss, because where the money is where you go. So thank you. And to my colleagues in the legislature. But I want to know that today is the Cape Cod Commuter Rail Day. I don't have the power to say it, so I will rely on others to make it that day. But for anyone that knows Cape Cod, when she has an idea, she runs with it. And this was really her brainchild. We all take credit. We're all here to give a speech, but Cape Cod had a lot of sleepless nights, and she kept at it, and she kept at it. And then she thought she knew it was going to happen because of Tom McGee. He was her classmate, and she called immediately and sent me his picture. I served with him in the Senate. I got it now, she said, and I guess she was right. But really, I just have to hand it to her, and what a wonderful, fitting end to her career in the House and a beginning for future things. So thank you, Kay. We all owe you a debt of gratitude. Don't worry. The upgraded Newtonville station will deliver on the promise of Newton's investment in transit-oriented multifamily housing along the Washington corridor. It offers greater accessibility and faster and more reliable commutes for workers, and better service will lead to even more benefits. And I can say, having a bad knee and walking down those stairs this morning, it wasn't fun. An all-day service in both directions will draw more drivers out of their cars off the roads, reducing congestion, cutting down on greenhouse gas emissions. In fact, the project will help us address most of our major problems Commonwealth is facing: housing shortage, congested roads and highways, climate crisis, and our efforts to retain Massachusetts' competitive edge. The project is an example of state government doing what it does best, improving residents' lives by investing in public infrastructure and excellent public services. Please know, if you live near Auburndale or West Newton stations, we haven't forgotten you. And Cape Cod may not be at the House, but she's going to be calling. And my new colleagues, you can take that call, because she's not done. And we're going to keep going with the Congressman Auchincloss. We're going to keep working. But the commitment of funding for the Newtonville station is a huge victory for the city, and I'm grateful to everyone who helped make this possible. Thank you. And I have the pleasure of introducing the wonderful head of our chamber, Greg Riebman, who, through his newsletters, rails on us when we didn't have the commuter rail. So I appreciate all his efforts, hard work, and being a cheerleader. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So Representative Khan said this was huge. I'm going to up that and say this is a BFD. This is the opportunity we've been waiting for, businesses have been waiting for, residents waiting for decades, and Representative Khan really has been the leader that Senator Creem said. So this is the way to make sure that people who live here now and the people who want to live in Newton have a place to live and have a way to get in and out of work and get to wherever they want to go. And it's also really important, and I want to just stop, for all you reporters who are writing about this, it is really important that you stress the accessibility here, but you need to understand the other part of the story, I want to make sure it doesn't get lost, is that Newton is the only community on the Worcester line that goes all the way out to Worcester, where all 3 of our stops, you can only go in one direction. And that has meant that if someone wanted to work in Newton and they lived in Boston, they can't get here by the train, but they will with this system because we'll have two-way service. And that two-way service is a game changer for us. And we're really appreciative of Governor, Congressman, Mayor, and to our legislators for all you've done to make sure this is going to happen. We're so grateful to that, and we'll see you all at the ribbon cutting.
Well, thank you. And with that, we're happy to take any questions on topic.
Governor, can someone clarify the breakdown between state and federal funding and what the project timeline is?
Sure. Phil, you want to talk to the project timeline?
So the contract for this station, we anticipate putting that on the street in 2025. The delivery mechanism is still being discussed right now. We're meeting with the industry to gauge different ways to deliver this project. But in 2025, and we anticipate a build time of just maybe around 2 years, perhaps.
Nice.
Regarding the funding, the way the funding is, you know, the state has the contributions for this, but we've received a lot of federal dollars on other projects that allowed us to be able to move dollars around. Congressman has provided $7 million as well to support this project. And with all of those things combined together, we're able to deliver this project. And we're really excited about that.
Any other media questions? Media, from the media? Okay.
Thank you, Governor. Ms. Drain, could you tell us what is going to happen to train service while the station is being rehabilitated?
Well, that is going to be part of the strategy on how to continue to run service and build a station. There is opportunities in terms of single tracking as we're doing today that allows us to continue to run service. Part of the innovative delivery mechanism as we engage with industry will also make that a priority in terms of making sure service can be maintained.
To your right.
Hi. Do you see any opportunity to integrate housing in the future with this project?
The question was, is there the ability to integrate housing with this project? What we have seen already coming through the City Council are two projects, multifamily buildings that have already been built. There are two more that essentially have been permitted, and we do expect that as people can get on a commuter rail station that runs frequently and is accessible, that this will make sense. Plus, our City Council in December passed the MBTA Communities Act, which did rezone and allow for by right buildings in this neighborhood that are multifamily.
Thanks, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you and to your families.